UFC Fight Night, Dern versus Jan, full card prediction. We did our predictions a few days ago. They were the quick pick predictions. We did them very, very fast. But we have some updated predictions that I am going to be switching around a few of the people I predicted in the first hand to some new people and some underdogs on this card. But make sure you go down and like this video. Make sure you guys go down and subscribe to the channel for more UFC predictions and confident picks videos, as well as Bellator predictions, confident picks videos, and a lot of MMA news. With all that being said, let's get into the first one here in the UFC strawweight division. Jessica Penne and Tabatha in the strawweight division. Now, I'm going to keep this very sweet and say Tabatha should easily go out there and win this fight. The reason I'm not screaming to the rooftops that Tabatha is going to go out there and just easily win this fight is the reason that Jessica Penne has been known to get wins that she's not really supposed to win. Lupita Godinez is a fight she should not have won at all. She lost that fight. Lupita Godinez landed takedowns, got back control, had control time, landed ground and pound, and all sorts of stuff, and was not able to get the win on the judges' scorecards. Well, Tabatha has a similar game plan and pressure forward, get her opponents to the clinch, look for the takedown, and grind to a decision. That's what she did against Maria Oliveira. That's what she did against Poliana Viana right there. So, again, I don't know what the judges are going to think right there. My prediction is going to be Tabatha to win this fight. But it's very, very close because it easily could be the case that Jessica Penne goes out there, defends some takedowns here and there, lands some shots in the clinch. Tabatha lands some takedowns, doesn't do much with the takedowns, and the judges are just like, all right, well, Penne landed a good jab in round number 1. We'll give her that round. I don't know, it's one of those type of fights, but I'm going to go with Tabatha to edge the fight on the judges' scorecard. She's just far superior in wrestling. She's far superior in grappling. She's not really a finisher, as she wasn't able to get finishes on Maria Oliveira or Poliana Viana. Was able to on the regional scene, but again, 1-5, 2-3. Not the best guys or girls, sorry about that. But I'm going to go Tabatha by a unanimous decision. Ilir Latifi and Aleksei Oleinik in the heavyweight division. I'm going to go Ilir Latifi to win this one. He's 39 years old right now. Going to be a little bit smaller than Aleksei, not as lengthy as Aleksei Oleinik. And, I was fairly good about my prediction here with Ilir Latifi and Aleksei Oleinik. If we look on to my confident picks, and where I had them on the list of most confident to least confident on this card, we actually had, if I can see it right here, Ilir Latifi at a solid 58% right there. And I'm going to be dead honest with you. My confidence for Ilir Latifi just got a little bit smaller, to be quite honest with you, because I'm thinking about what Aleksei Oleinik was able to do against Jared Vanderaa in their fight, and it was the same mistake of Ilir Latifi going out there, taking the fight down like he usually does, trying to wrestle, trying to grapple, trying to grind to a unanimous decision to win his fights. But when Jared Vanderaa did it, he got caught right into a submission from Aleksei Oleinik, a neck crank from scarf hold submission. So there is always that danger of Aleksei Oleinik going out there and Ilir Latifi taking down Aleksei just getting ground and pounded on for a little bit, reversing position, getting a submission or something like that. And there's also the other thing of, well, maybe Ilir Latifi does not go for a takedown, and we just see Aleksei Oleinik's very weird, very awkward striking go out there and win this fight. Because if you don't know, now you will know, Aleksei Oleinik surprisingly has okay striking. I'm not saying it's good striking, I'm not saying anything like that, but it's just how unorthodox Aleksei Oleinik throws his strikes. Very looping, very weird, at weird angles, weird hooks and things like that. I mean, the way at which he strikes is just so unnerving and so weird for his opponents to really understand that they just get hit with a lot of stuff that Aleksei Oleinik throws. So, I don't know. Aleksei Oleinik, I'm going to be dead honest with you, might actually have this striking advantage over Ilir Latifi in this fight, but I'm still going to go Ilir Latifi, although my prediction definitely went down a little bit in terms of my confidence for Ilir Latifi. I think Aleksei's a live underdog right here, but I think Ilir should go out there, take the fight down, and just be very, very cautious. Land a little bit of ground and pound, hold. land a little bit of ground and pound, hold onto Aleksei Oleinik, and just grind for 3 rounds and get the win on the judges' scorecards. Ilir by a decision. Phillipe Lins and Maxim Grishin in the light heavyweight division. Like I said a few days ago, I'm not confident on this pick whatsoever. They're both 38, 37 years old, pretty similar heights, a little bit of a reach advantage there for Phillipe Lins, but that's not the reason I'm not confident on either guy here. The reason I'm not confident on Maxim, the reason I'm not confident on Phillipe Lins is because Maxim Grishin is just a far better striker than Phillipe Lins is. It's obvious. He knocked out Gajah Muravantagulov, easily outstruck William Knight in that fight, was able to stay away from the big, powerful punches, was able to keep the striking super even against Dustin Jacoby, so it's obvious he's going to have the striking advantage over Phillipe Lins. So that's one reason why I'm not super confident on either guy. The other reason is Phillipe is a lot bigger than Maxim Grishin. He's a little bit stronger than Maxim Grishin and has the wrestling and grappling advantage. So it's one of those fights where I might just live bet it after like a minute of round number 1. If Phillipe goes out there, shoots a double leg, gets to the clinch, and cannot get a takedown on Maxim Grishin, y'all can guarantee I'm gonna start betting some money onto Maxim Grishin. But if Phillipe is able to go out there, get on top of Maxim Grishin, even in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes of round number 1, I'm betting Phillipe Lins to win. It really comes down to that first 2 minutes to 3 minutes of round number 1, because I do think Phillipe has the wrestling, has the grappling, has the size. Maxim has the striking, has the speed, has the volume, and things like that. So it's a weird one. I am leaning Maxim Grishin, but as I said at the beginning, am I confident? Hell no. Because it could easily just be a grind fest from Phillipe Lins, staying on top and holding. But I highly doubt it. I'm going to go Maxim Grishin. Am I confident? No, I keep saying it. I'm going to go for him to win this fight on the judges' scorecards. Joaquim Silva and Jesse Ronson in the lightweight division. Another fight. I would not be mad at anyone in the comment section predicting Jesse Ronson. I'm going to be dead honest. If you were predicting Jesse Ronson to win this fight, there's no shame there. Jesse could easily go out there and win this fight just based off of pressure. That's the main thing I see him getting a victory here, is just coming forward for 3 straight rounds on Joaquim Silva and trying to crack that chin. Because Joaquim Silva's chin is not too good. I mean, he got knocked out by Nasrat Haqparast in round 2, got knocked out by Ricky Glenn in literally 37 seconds. He's got good grappling. He's got good finishing ability. Knocked out Jared Gordon in the UFC. Submitted Neil Magny in a grappling match. So yes, I would say the jiu-jitsu advantage is going to go Joaquim Silva. The wrestling advantage is going to go Joaquim Silva in this one. The counter-punching is going to go Joaquim Silva. But Jesse could easily go out there, pressure for 3 straight rounds, and win the fight on the scorecards. He could easily catch that granite chin, it's a garbage chin, of Joaquim Silva and knock him out round 1, round 2. It's a possibility. That's why Jesse is a live underdog. If we look at the betting odds as of right now, I'm assuming he's definitely in the -1 something, is -170, -180, something around that range. It's a little bit less now. Wow, -140 for Joaquim Silva. You can see the money is coming in on Jesse Ronson for a good reason. It's because Joaquim doesn't have a chin. He's not really the best striker, but he does have good jiu-jitsu to fall back on. So I'm going to go Joaquim Silva to take the fight down and get a submission in round number 1 or round number 2. But again, if he's not able to get that submission and Jesse's able to out-volume him in round 2 and round 3 on the feet, possibly knock him out, could be a dog. But I'm going to go Joaquim Silva by a submission. Julija Stoliarenko and Chelsea Chandler. Julija Stoliarenko and Chelsea Chandler in the catchweight division of 140 pounds. It's a weird one. I mean, there's so many fights on this card that are like, I could easily see Julija Stoliarenko going out there, taking the fight down, submitting Chelsea Chandler easily round number 1. Easy armbar, 20 seconds into this fight. I can see Chelsea Chandler going out there, taking the fight down, and grinding the heck out of Julija Stoliarenko for 3 straight rounds, and winning the fight by a decision. It's one of those fights. Now, right now, Julija Stoliarenko is at -110 on the medium odds. Chelsea Chandler at -111. There is no favor. This is literally as close as you can get to a 50-50 fight, and I don't know. Chelsea's going to be bigger, she's going to be a little bit stronger, have the wrestling advantage, and could easily go out there, take down Julija Stoliarenko, but it's not about if she can take down Julija Stoliarenko, it's if she can take her down without getting submitted from Julija Stoliarenko, but she's never been finished in her MMA career, got some submission wins over Olivia Parker right there. I think if the UFC wanted her to lose this fight, I doubt they'd be giving her Julija Stoliarenko. They'd probably be giving her like a veteran on a big losing streak that's not been looking very good recently. But they're giving her Julija Stoliarenko. So I don't know. It's a very close one. Julija by submission or Chelsea Chandler in a grinding decision. I'm going to go Chelsea Chandler to barely win the fight on these scorecards right there. Krzysztof, Jotko, and Brendan Allen in the middleweight division. I'm going to switch my prediction. I'm going to switch my prediction from what I originally had in Krzysztof Jotko to win this fight. And the reason being, I mean, I probably had the confidence for Krzysztof Jotko 55, 58, somewhere in the 50 percentile because I'm not the most confident on Krzysztof Jotko to go out there and win this fight. The reason being is the kicking game of Brendan Allen. That's the main way I see him winning this fight is to go out there and just kick Krzysztof Jotko. Wrestling and grappling, I see the advantage going Brendan Allen. But I don't see Krzysztof getting dominated here. I don't think Krzysztof's going to dominate Brendan Allen on the ground. It should mainly be just a striking match. Krzysztof's going to come forward. Brendan is going to be trying to jab and 1-2 at range and look for the body kicks and leg kicks and things like that. It's going to be a very, very close fight in the middleweight division, but the age of Krzysztof Jotko is getting a little bit older right now. He's kind of that gatekeeper of the UFC's middleweight division. I think the UFC wants another younger guy in Brendan Allen to get into that top 15 rather than a 33-year-old Krzysztof Jotko that doesn't get anything but decisions in the UFC. Beat Mark Andre's decision, Eric Anders' decision, Sirkanov by split decision, and Gerald Meerschaert by a decision. I think Allen will make this a good fight, and you will land more kicks, keep the punches very, very even, mix in some takedowns and some jiu-jitsu, and barely edge out the win. That is my underdog of the card, plus 110 for Brendan Allen. Randy Costa and Guido Canneti in the bantamweight division. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I'm not confident, guys. I'm not at all confident on either Guido Canneti or Randy Costa. When I first saw this fight, I was like, yeah, Randy Costa should go out there and win this fight, but am I confident? No. That's the same sentiment I have right now, as Guido is not as tall, he's not as lengthy, he's not as powerful, he's not as young as Randy Costa. It should feel like, come on, it should feel like the Tapology predictions. We should easily be going Costa to win this fight. Round 1, round 2, KO TKO win, just like Dana Bajadil was able to do in that fight. That should be our thought process, that should be our prediction. But it's not necessarily, that is going to be my prediction. I'm going to be dead honest with you. That is going to be my prediction. Randy Costa, KO TKO in round number 1. But that's not like a confident prediction, guys. Watch my confident picks video for this fight. Is low. It's very, very low on the list for the reason being that if Randy Costa is not able to get the finish in round number 1, Guido is going to land a little bit more volume, then Randy Costa land more kicks, then Randy Costa make it a technical striking match in round 2 and round 3, and he's going to win round 2 and round 3. I don't think he'll finish Randy Costa in those later rounds, but he could win those 2 rounds and win it on the scorecard. So again, it comes down to, does the fight hit round number 2, or do we see that first round finish? I'm going to lean first round finish for Randy Costa, but do not bet Randy Costa in this fight. Mike Davis and Viecheslav Borshchev in the lightweight division. Viecheslav, good striker, very good kickboxing in the prime of his MMA career. Not as tall, not as lengthy as Mike Davis, but knocked out Dakota Bush, knocked out Chris Duncan with that solid left hook to the body and left hook to the head of Chris Duncan in that fight. Got some other knockout wins on the regional scene over Corey Delaney and Kendi St. Louis. Seems like a simple prediction. You see Mike Davis, you see Viecheslav Borshchev. You know Mike Davis struck with Mason Jones for 3 rounds. You know we got a knockout win on Thomas Gifford. He got submitted by Gilbert Burns. You might not have good grappling. You might not have good wrestling. You'd probably be out there going like, Viecheslav should easily win this fight. But it's a lot different than that, because yes, Viecheslav could go out there, make this a 3-round striking fight, and maybe knock out Mike Davis here. But Mike Davis has been off for a year and 7 months. He's not necessarily a bad grappler or wrestler. As if you look deeper into his career, he's got a few ground pound TKO wins. He's got a Kimura submission win on Carlos Guerrera right there, and he was doing fairly good at defending submissions, defending the takedowns against Gilbert Burns in their fight. So I'm going to be dead honest with you. This fight with Viecheslav Borshchev is a 50-50 in my opinion. It's a very, very close one that I'm just barely leaning Mike Davis to win. But I do lean Mike Davis to win. I think he's going to have the better grappling, going to have the better wrestling. He's going to stay at range, have Viecheslav come to him. Mike is going to be countering at range, using his height, using his reach, and then mixing in those takedowns. I don't think it's going to be as dominant as the Mark Diakesi one. I think 1 round will go Viecheslav in this one to outstrike Mike Davis, but 2-1 for Mike Davis, out wrestling, out grappling, and grinding for this decision win. Sodiq, Yusuff, and Shainis in the featherweight division. I'm going to go Sodiq Yusuff. It seems like an easy prediction, doesn't it? I mean, Sodiq Yusuff, pretty much like a top 15 UFC featherweight in the world, beating Aleksei, Andre Fili, Gabriel Benitez, Shimon Moraes, only losing to Arnold Allen, who's about to fight in a main event. He's taller, he's lengthier, better striker, better kicker, better puncher, more power, more UFC level experience. I mean, it seems so obvious, doesn't it? Well, that's my prediction. I'm going to the Yusuff to win this fight by a decision, outstriking Shainis for 3 straight rounds. But, you know, it is a little bit more interesting than that, as Shainis is a finisher, going out there getting a 2nd round retirement, a 1st round TKO, another 1st round TKO, and another 1st round TKO. He's got decent cardio, has decent grittiness, grindingness, and things like that. So I think Sodiq Yusuff will easily win this fight by a decision. But Shainis could win this fight. If he can gas Sodiq Yusuff out enough in this fight, just make this as dirty as possible, make this fight absolute war, pressure him forward, laying in big shots, eating some big shots, and just making this an all-out banger of a fight in the featherweight division. Well, I'm still going to go Sodiq Yusuff to win the fight, but that's his best path to victory, is to make it interesting and hope to land on the chin of Sodiq Yusuff, get a ground pound TKO, get a submission win. That's how he should go out there and try to win, but I highly doubt it. It's hard to go out there and just pressure forward on a guy like Sodiq Yusuff. I can easily just outstrike him at range and pick him apart as he is pressuring forward. So I'm going to go Sodiq Yusuff, but if he wants to make it interesting, make it a war. But I got Sodiq by a decision. Raoni Barcelos and Trevin Jones in the bantamweight division. I'm going to go Raoni Barcelos. He's the better striker, he's the better grappler, he's the better wrestler, he's the better kicker, he's the better puncher. I'm going to be dead honest with you. He's better everywhere than Trevin Jones. Trevin Jones might have some good submission skills early on in his career, getting some good TKO wins. Over to more Valiev and Mario Batista, getting a lot of submission wins on the regional scene. But I'm going to be honest, Raoni throws a lot more volume, he's a lot faster than Trevin Jones on the feet, and I think he can easily use that to win the fight in a 3-round striking decision. Not to mention, he could take down Trevin Jones as well here and look for some submissions. I don't think he finishes, because I don't think his wrestling and grappling and submission skills are as good as Sadyokub Kakramanov, and if Javid Basharat is unable to get the finish, I don't think Raoni will be able to get the finish here. I think Raoni will go out there against Trevin Jones and outstrike him on the feet, land more volume, land the faster punches and kicks, and mix in some takedowns to win this one on the judges' scorecards. Castaneda and Daniel Santos. Pretty easy prediction in my opinion. I think Castaneda, I don't know what this is. I think Castaneda will go out there and pressure forward on Daniel Santos, land a heck of a lot more volume than Daniel Santos. He's got the reach advantage. He's in the prime of his MMA career. Such a lot of experience inside and outside of the UFC. and beating guys like Marcelo Rojo by submission, Eddie Wineland by KO TKO, and Miles Johns by a submission. Daniel Santos has never been finished in his MMA career, which is why I'm going to go the fight to go to a decision. I think John is going to pressure forward, land a lot more volume than Daniel Santos, as well as mix in the takedowns like he was able to do against Miles Johns in his last fight. Control the fight on the ground, land some ground and pound, look for the submission, and just grind to a unanimous decision. Randy Brown and Francisco Trinaldo in the welterweight division. I'm going to go Randy Brown to win this one. He's taller, he's lengthier, he's better at range, he's the better striker, he's more technical, he is younger. I mean, there's all of that going for Randy Brown in this fight, but I am a little squeamish. I am a little worried about this prediction. I mean, 8 inches of height right there. 6 inches 6 inches of height, 8 inches of reach right there for Randy Brown is a lot. But if Francisco Trinaldo somehow is able to close that height and close that reach, get inside of the range of Randy Brown, the dude's got power. You might not know it. The man knocked out Jai Herbert, beat Dwight Grant, rocked him in that fight, rocked Danny Roberts in their fight as well. This guy, Francisco Trinaldo, can easily go out there and knock out Randy Brown in round 1 or round number 2. The guy has the power to do so. Not to mention, he has the ability to go out there and wrestle and grapple with Randy Brown, control the fight on the ground, and win the decision that way. He can knock him out on the feet, and he can grind on the ground to a wrestling and grappling decision. Is that what I think is going to happen? No. I still have Randy Brown winning this fight by a decision. I think he's going to outstrike Francisco at range, landing a heck of a lot more volume, kick him at range, and just pop, pop, and move, pop, pop, and move. 1-2, 1-2 on the outside, leg kicks, body kicks, and he's just going to start flowing in there against Francisco Trinaldo. Francisco will land some big shots that I think will help him win at least one of these rounds, but the other two, the volume, the speed, and the technique of Randy Brown will get him the other 2 rounds. Randy Brown by a close decision. Mackenzie Dern and Yan Xiaonan in the strawweight division. I'm going to go round 1, Yan Xiaonan. Round 2, Yan Xiaonan. Round 3, that's where it gets iffy. Round 4, Mackenzie Dern. Round 5, Mackenzie Dern. If there's not a submission by then, which I think there's a super high likelihood, we see Mackenzie Dern get a 4th round submission, get a 3rd round submission, or something like that. But I think Mackenzie Dern wins round number 3. I think finally, in either round 2, round 3, one of those 2 rounds, she's going to find a way to close that distance on Yan Xiaonan, get the fight to the clinch, not get a takedown, but get the fight to the clinch, body lock Yan Xiaonan, scoot to the side of Yan Xiaonan, and just literally hop onto the back of Yan Xiaonan. I think Yan will defend the takedowns, and every time Mackenzie Dern does that, it's pretty much a free round. As soon as she gets the hooks in and she gets the back of Yan Xiaonan, she'll start ground and pounding a little bit. She'll look for the rear naked. She'll just keep on tapping and tapping and tapping and looking for that submission. And I think that is what's going to help her get this win. On the judges' scorecards, Yan has never been submitted inside the UFC. She did get TKO by Carla Esparza, but Mackenzie Dern is not getting a TKO win. But again, the reason I do see Mackenzie losing the early rounds here is Yan Xiaonan's very good early on in the fight. She'll probably fade a little bit later on into round 4, round 5, and that's why I still think there's a large chance that Mackenzie Dern could go out there and get a submission. But I think Yan Xiaonan should win the early rounds because she's going to be a lot faster. Her striking is going to be a lot more powerful, better technique, and she's going to be very, very worried about the takedown. Her reflexes are going to be very good early on in that fight to defend the takedowns, get out of the clinch situations of Mackenzie Dern and just outstrike her in those early rounds. But the later as the fight does go on, that's where Mackenzie's going to find her timing, find her range, and get in on Yan Xiaonan a little bit easier. Yan's going to be a little bit more tired, and Mackenzie will find a way to either get the fight down and submit Yan Xiaonan in round 3 or round 4, or use it to just control Yan Xiaonan for those 3 rounds and edge out a 48-47 decision. So either Mackenzie Dern in round 3 by a submission, or by a 48-47 decision. That is my prediction. Alright guys, I got Mackenzie Dern winning, Randy Brown winning, John Castaneda, Ioni Barcelos, Sodiq Yusuff, Mike Davis, Randy Costa, Brendan Allen, the underdog, Chelsea Chandler, who's probably going to be the underdog in a few days, Joaquim Silva in what's probably going to be a 50-50 fight on the betting odds, Maxim Grishin, barely Ilir Latifi, and Tabatha. Those are the full card predictions. Like and subscribe if you do like MMA. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.